discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Yes, for only $23.90. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Good afternoon from you guys and good evening from my end. It is literally 9 p.m. on the dot right here in the 254. It's been a good day, beautiful weather. Hope you're having a fair weather as well on your end. Hope your week has been great as well. And hope you're ready for the weekend as well. Karibuni sana. Well, today we shall be talking about, of course, Israel launching the airstrike on Iran. But as we get to continue, or before we get into that, we have other top discussions as well. We shall be talking a little bit about the Florida sheriff who did one about the rioters ahead of the upcoming immigration protest, and I'll be sharing on that. We shall have in Texas, where the governor has also responded regarding the demonstration as well. You also have the black sheriff from Florida as well, who also did speak on this as we get to continue. So we shall also get into a little bit of history as we check on to some of the forgotten history. And I'll be starting with literally what is happening in a certain literally article I want to read right here before we get started. But karibuni sana, I'd love to urge you to download our application on the Google Play Store. Very easy for you to find. My name is Joby, by the way. In case you're here for the first time, we are live, of course, with Mr. Black Hot Fire, straight from his studio as well. But karibuni sana to you who is live on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Spreaker, Spotify, and to those who are with us also on the radio station. Remember, on the application, you can get yourself these amazing supplements that we just shared. We have ashwagandha, we have multivitamin, we have brain and focus formula, we have beetroot, we have CMOS, we have moringa pure, we have literally everything organic. So get yourself some amazing supplements. Don't just check, ensure you get yourself some amazing supplements. In case you're facing any trouble ordering or after ordering, ensure you communicate to us as well. But karibuni sana. As we get started, I want to start, of course, with this particular article right here. A little bit of history, very important as we get deeper into the conversation of the day. And this is an article talking about the sterilization of women in different cities, literally in America, how it happened back then. And they're saying over 8,000 Black women in Mississippi and South Carolina had their uterus removed by doctors without their knowledge or consent. That is from the 1920s to the 1980s. That is literally 60 years of sterilization, of torture. Because remember, there's a time I was reading another article which this white people tend to believe that Black people didn't feel any pain. So everything they did, they had assumption, or I call it an assumption of just being evil, based on who they really are as people. In Mississippi, they're saying how these procedures were often justified by racist stereotypes that portrayed Black women as hypersexual or unfit to parent. Doctors acted with impunity, supported by a legal system that upheld segregation and denied Black patients autonomy over their own bodies. But today, women have autonomies over their own bodies. It's crazy how this system just changes and how it has been set. Like back then, Black women didn't have autonomy over their own bodies. But right now, women have autonomy over their own bodies. When you talk about the surgeries, destroying yourself, which they've pushed so hard, all these surgeries that people keep on doing, the abortions and all that, so many things, literally. So today women have autonomy over their own body. Make that make sense? In 1961, we have a lady by the name Fannie Lou Hamer, a black sharecropper and civil rights activist who entered a Mississippi hospital to remove a benign uterine fibroid tumor, and she returned to her family shack on the Marlow plantain to recover, unaware of the life alerting procedure she had endured. This horrific practice was a common in the South that it earned actually nickname the Mississippi appendectomy. That is what they call it, Mississippi appendectomy, and or rather in bracket the coined by Hammer, and it targeted black women, stripping them of their reproductive rights under the guise of routine medical procedures without their knowledge or consent. 3 years later, in 1964, Hammer spoke out in Washington, D.C., revealing that the scale of the abuse. And she says, and I quote, South, in North Sunflower Country, County's hospital, I would say about 6 out of 10 Negro women that go to the hospital are sterilized with with their tubes tied, and this is the system, or this was the system medical violence, and this is just horrific. Literally, a little bit of information, because it should be able to connect us back to what is affecting also black women today. If you talk about all these agendas they keep on pushing, we know this is an agenda they are pushed in so many different African countries, like in Nigeria, in Kenya, in schools, in hospitals. I'm not sure if this is really happening in our hospitals. In hospitals, we've seen the stealing of the babies, at least in Africa, which is not something, I'm saying at least, which is very wrong. But this is crazy. This is part of history we're not really taught. And this is why we need to actually educate young girls not to even, when you see white people, because again, the children are always the big target. Given sweets, given things, they take you, they kidnap you, you go somewhere where you don't have a name, you don't have a birth certificate. You grow up probably being of what value they want, or if not, they'll do whatever they do with children. It is crazy. But this article talks about how this is a history that was never taught in the US history. And of course, I do believe it is supposed to be a global black history, not just US, for us to understand literally the missing key points of what or how black people actually are affected, or the issue they also went through. They're talking about how the Mississippi appendectomy, like I said, that's how they used to call it, was part of a broader eugenics movement in the US, which sought to control the reproduction of marginalized groups. From the 1920s to the 1980s, tens of thousands were forcibly sterilized nationwide. Our ancestors went through so much pain and suffering. It's only right that we educate ourselves and live up to our potential. Very important. So I had to share that amazing article right there. Very painful, but at the same time, very educative. I feel like for me, being a woman, this is educative and makes me understand why we have all these current agendas that are affecting us today, the current world, the current system, where they literally originated from. So you can see the roots of them. But still on history, I have another article right here that I wanted to share as well, talking about how in 150, this is after 150 years, where we have the skulls of 19 Black Americans that have been finally returned to New Orleans, and they were taken without their consent, used in racist science meant to prove Black inferiority. And this is their story. The same after 150 years, the skulls of 19 Black Americans were returned in New Orleans, and the most were formerly enslaved or born into slavery, but instead of being buried with dignity, their skulls were removed without consent and sent to Germany for phrenological research, a racist pseudoscience, a racist pseudoscience that claimed to measure intelligence by skull shape to prove black inferiority. Their remains ended up at the Leipzig University and was stored for over a century. In 2023, the university acknowledged the theft and agreed to return them. On 31st May 2025, they were honored at the Hurricane Katrina Memorial with a traditional New Orleans jazz funeral. And for the first time in over centuries, their names were spoken in public. And they were not specimens, they were people with lives, families, and dignity. So this is crazy to see how white people, and of course, this is part of also the African looted, I'd say, not just even the African looted, even if you talk about someone like Patrice Lumumba, we still have some of his remains which they have refused to actually return back to their original families or their indigenous lands. So I'm not surprised by this, but it is crazy because it's like Keith was saying earlier today, it is just crazy to see that we were conquered by this kind of people. It also doesn't process to me correctly. I don't know how you get to process that family, but you need to sit down and just think about it, that we had this kind of people who knew nothing, completely taking control of everything. And this has been happening in just over a few years, which is super, super crazy. But as we get into the main conversations as well, Keith, are you okay right there?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I had to yeah, I'm okay. I had to
All right, just confirming what's happening with you on your end.
you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah, I had to get my groceries. It was at the door.
Oh,
And the
okay.
lady rang my doorbell.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you're home early. Karibu sana. Shout out to you, Jason, as well. Karibu, hope you're doing amazing. But as we get into the other conversation, of course, I want to share details on what the black sheriff of Florida, what he had to say. And of course, also had this white guy here. I don't know. I think he's also a sheriff. I don't know how many sheriffs Florida has or how many sheriffs actually are supposed to be in one city. I'm not really sure about that, but let me share this first as we get into it and understand much more.
A black Florida sheriff and the state attorney general are at odds on the issue of arresting immigrants. Attorney General James Oldheimer sent a letter to Broward County Sheriff Gregory Tony following the sheriff's comment
This fat ball bastard here.
arrest of immigrants during a commission meeting last week. Check this out.
Some of the things that other sheriffs in this state has participated in increasing availability of manpower to execute some of these responsibilities that fall under immigration here or not.
He's in Brevard County.
been-
Why has he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Usually got 4 stars. How's he got 5? We're supposed to start getting these cops 5 stars when they call. Like, I don't know what. This the fake military insignia that they give police now. Like they're general or some shit in the military. And he got 5. You don't ain't got 5-star generals no more in the military at all. That's too high. You don't ain't got 5. He's a 5-star cop. So he's the chief of police, obviously, but he's in Brevard County. Okay. Go ahead, Joe. See what he's saying.
Which computer are you using? I think you're using the different computer, right? Because
yeah, because this one, of course, of course I'm gonna joke. That one right there. I gotta buy a new computer because that one don't update. It's too old now. It won't.
Yeah, because I'm like, what's your voice is a little bit like, then I see it's like you're low, it's like you look like you're a little bit low. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, because let me do this.
That's better.
Cause my
Better.
Because this damn thing here don't work no more.
You need to buy a new one, but anyway.
In a submittal of requests, the governor wanted to see all sheriffs participate in this one program, 287G, which was related to the inmate processing components, and we've always been in compliance with that. then there was a pivot point to have
deputy. The ones you see, because he's black. See, kind and loving, but they're gonna lock you up, Negro, because they'd already told you if you go against what Trump is saying. But as long as it's not unconstitutional, lots of what they do is unconstitutional. They're not supposed to have military on the streets. You can be there, but not the military. So you're at all the white racist cops in their counties, because Florida's got different counties, like every place else, like Kenya, you got different counties. So I think the other I think that cop was in Broward County saying that. I don't know what county he was in, whatever. But this is Brevard. Brevard, guys, is like where's Brevard? I think Brevard is that Cocoa Beach? Let me see. Where's Brevard? Let me see. I want to say it's Cocoa Beach. Let me see, guys. Where's Brevard County, Florida? What's that? Cocoa Beach, I think. Okay, yeah, I knew I was right. Cocoa Beach. That's Cocoa Beach. I knew I was right. Cocoa Beach. Maps. Okay, so it's gonna be from this area out from Orlando. It's gonna be Cocoa Beach, Melbourne, Satellite Beach, and Grand. Yes, it's that area right there. So I knew. Yeah. The other county was further down by where the Spanish are at, but they all Spanish everywhere now. But yeah, so he's further up. He's up there by Orlando. He said, I knew that. I said, Brevard County, ain't that Cocoa Beach? So yeah, so he's over by Cocoa Beach.
Mm-hmm. He's participate in 287 G task force, whereas now it's the law enforcement apparatus that is out in the field and increasing the operational tempo for customs, meaning 20 deputies are assigned, let's say in Sarasota, to this particular task force. And those deputies are now basically operating under the will, or so the partnership of immigration. I've dedicated the 2 people that's always been there. I've not increased it.
Sarasota's on the other side of the state. You guys don't know Florida. He's way up there. He's way out there in the east part of Florida, right? East side. Like let me move my map. If I did this, see, he's way up over here. If I go way over here, down here, way Sarasota's way over here. Damn, where's that going, man? Like Sarasota. Damn, what's this thing going, man? Okay, he's over in Brevard. Damn. He slowly respond. This computer's old. So he's up in Brevard. But on the other side of Sarasota, you guys know, is on the western side of is on the west coast of Florida. Him being Brevard, Cocoa Beach is on the east coast. So obviously he's monitoring, and also see he's over there. Florida's a real strange. Ross, Florida's a real strange. Florida, you can't really call Florida a red state. But California is completely a blue state. It's Democrats run that. Florida goes back and forth. So Florida's more of a purple state. It can go Democrat one year, it can go Republican one year. But the Republican counties in Florida are race. I live in a completely red Republican county, so it's racist, right? But some parts like him, like out there Cocoa Beach, that's a Democratic area, like Tampa. But some parts, Florida, like Florida's a weird dichotomy. How it's not Florida's not, even though people want to say Florida's a completely red state, it's not. Mostly it's purple because you got big blue areas and you got big red areas. Go ahead, Joe.
That we have other priorities in this community that I'm focused on, and immigration is not one of them. Not to dismiss the importance.
You ain't got to. I ain't coming after you. Notice tacos. You eat your tacos. I'm not coming at you. I'm black. I'm gonna love you and be kind to you. Now if you go out my county, go down to these white counties, they're gonna bust you in your head and lock you up and ship you out.
To that, but we have had case after case just a few months ago to speak about why it's important for us as law enforcement practitioners to focus on the criminal components, not administrative components when it comes to immigration. I don't care what country you're from. If you commit a crime in this country or commit a crime in this county, I'm coming for you. But what I refuse to do is take this notion that we need to be knocking on doors or arresting children or going into daycare centers or restaurants and taking and snatching people off these streets who have been paying taxes and contributing to this society in some positive form, regardless if they're a U.S. citizen or not. It's not within our purview. It's not within our responsibility, and I won't participate in it.
He's not going to listen to Trump and do it. And remember, Trump lives a couple counties down in Mar-a-Lago. This is Florida. Dude, they may be coming for you. you may be out the door. So he said you openly, I'm not going to do it, whether they're illegal or not, as long as they don't break the law. They already broke the law, dummy. They're illegal. They're illegal. That's the law. They came to the country illegal. They already broke the law. They're not supposed to be here. They are illegal. That's the whole term, illegal. They're not supposed to be here. So, but he said he's not going to do anything to go after them. He said his county, his department, he's telling everybody that works under him, his police department in that big area of Brevard, hands off. Now, you know the white people that work for him will be mad as hell. They're going to try to get him up out of there. You know, the lower under.
Oh, okay. We lost Keith as we wait for him to come back.
This is something that has alarmed this community repeatedly, and I've been crystal clear, and I have not wavered in my stance in the last 6 years, and I won't.
The Youth Miles letter orders Tony to comply with the efforts of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Larry, your thoughts?
Yeah, Roland, it's a lot going on down here in the state of Florida. And so, a lot of the sheriffs down here gleefully signed on to get involved in a lot of these ICE raids. And if you see what the sheriff said, what he had to say is completely.
Yes, I do hear you, Keith.
All right. So Joby got this show with all the bootlicking Negroes. These are all the bootlicks who talk that fake ass black and brown color. These are the bootlick handkerchief head Negroes who talk crazy talk. Oh, they don't do nothing about black people. See, what you see here right now, these guys are tools of the Democratic Party. So they want black people to see the Democrats, this wicked ass parties had black people support all other movements besides black people. So they get this shield, this bootlick. I don't even know. I've never seen this bit of Joby show, but I know the MO with these bootlicks. Right? We already got this is the Roland Martin show. He already got caught last year.
All right, we lost Keith there for a minute, but shout out to Keith. I think we have, let me see, we are beyond the side. But yeah.
I don't know why I'm going out. What's wrong with this thing
here? To call him to pay taxes. And Roland, this also relates to, he points to education. We're increasingly seeing ICE agents go to public schools, elementary schools in some cases, seeking to talk to young people. So his point is that we're not going to look for law-abiding individuals, and we're certainly not going to be kicking in the door to elementary, middle, or high schools to snatch kids out of school. And then, like I said, I use the term black box in terms of the last segment. But he's just saying, what he's saying is practical. If you break the law, coming after you. Otherwise,
see, they're apologists, right? These bootlicking handkerchief head Negroes are apologists to what's going on. We know immigration destroys us more than any more demographic black people here. But see, they work for the powers that be. So that's why their numbers are always pushed. What they said absolutely asinine and phony. We know immigration. Let me just real quick. Let me see.
You have something on, Shan?
Yeah, I'm trying. Give me a second though.
Okay. Let me share this as we wait.
Let me type on this thing. What's going
on your end.
If you resist lawful order, you're going to jail.
What?
I'm going to break it down for you. All right. And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to, so I'm going to break into the hospital and jail and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful.
Yeah, let me share the TikTok version. The TikTok, I think TikTok is a little bit, Instagram, they do shorten the videos. Let me share this one.
If you resist lawful orders,
why it doesn't have
you're
sound.
going to jail. Let me be very clear about that.
I don't understand why on TikTok they don't have sound.
If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
What county is he in?
Huh? Come again.
What county? He's in
Brevard County.
That's the same county we just did the other guys in. So that's not going to work. They're in the same county. You just had, and that other guy outranks. He's only got 4 stars. The other guy's got 5 stars. So the black guy is his boss. So he's null and void. The black guy is his boss.
Is that Broward or Brevard? Because I think the other one was Broward, then this one is Brevard. I don't know.
The other guy was the other guy Broward or Brevard? I thought the other guy was Brevard.
The other one was Broward County. Broward. Yeah.
Okay, so he's Brevard. So he's the one in Cocoa Beach then. Because let's see here. Okay, I thought the other guy was Broward County. Broward County is closer to Miami. So no wonder why. Okay, so he's the one in Cocoa Beach. Okay. The other guy the black guy was Broward County.
Yeah.
Okay, Broward County would be, dang. Broward County is actually almost where, ain't that where? Ain't Broward County also West Palm? Hey, Roz, are you in Broward County? Is that West Palm Beach in Fort Lauderdale just before you get to Miami? Okay, the Republicans now outnumber the Democrats. Okay, yeah, it's still close. Okay, so now Florida it's 1 million. So now Republicans now outnumber the Democrats 1 million votes in Florida. Okay, so it is mostly a red state. So are you in Broward County? The black Broward County chief now changed his mind. He changed his mind. He already changed. I told you he was sat down. I already know. See, Joey I knew they took that Negro to the back and said, boy, you better do what you told. So I know Broward County, that's close to. Aren't you in Broward County, Roz? Is that? Let me see where's Broward County at. See, I want to say Broward's north of Miami right there. Broward County, okay. Okay, so Broward County is okay. Broward County is Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Hollywood. So now that's below you. Yeah, Broward County is Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I know a little bit north of Miami. So yeah, it's Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, and Hollywood, Florida. Yeah. Yeah, right above Miami, right above Dade County. I knew. So okay, so he's Brevard, and the other guy was Broward. Okay, I got a reverse. I said, and the other guy said was Brevard. Okay, so the black guy is a little bit about an hour south of this guy, right? Hour and a half south in Broward County, a little bit the county right above Miami, because Miami is Miami-Dade County. So, all right, so he's close. He's close. Because remember, Trump lives in where you at, West Palm Beach. Trump's right in Mar-a-Lago is like, what, an hour up the road from this dude from that black guy's county? And I know they said, this dude, you're in the county. I'm the president of the United States. We don't lock your nigga ass up. You don't lock your black ass up. Okay? You don't lock your black ass up. You think you're head of a county? I'm head of the state and the country. You think you're going to tell what you're doing in your little bitty county? So, and also they would have, these guys have backing by the mayor of that area. But of course, the county, they're bigger than the city because they got many cities inside one county, right. So they would answer to the mayor because that's the county. So you got numerous cities inside one county. So you have like 3 or 4 cities inside the county. So that's the sheriff department, not the police department. Police only would be in the city itself. Those are the sheriffs. So yeah. You know the racist areas in Florida, buddy. You know the racist. All up. I'm up in the northern part of Florida. This is racist central, Jack. This is the gator bait area. They would snatch Joey's baby and speed it to the gators. Damn baby.
We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
Peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. The key word in that.
He ain't got to worry about that. He's in a small county. Ain't nobody be protesting in your low budget county. This is all for clout. Ain't nobody going to your low budget county to be. Cocoa Beach guy's one of the poorest parts of Florida. He ain't listening. He ain't listening. Ain't nobody going to your county. You're okay. Stop trying to get clout. Why are you even announcing anything in your county?
Then we have Texas as well. The Texas governor as well did give a warning regarding the same situation.
Equal, because in Texas, when a few hundred anti-ICE dimwits tried to take back the Alamo, this is how it went.
I want to remind everybody that we come in peace. We're not fighting, nor are we instigating.
Okay, ain't nobody black people stay home.
Everybody just to sit down.
These people are racist as hell. They're racist as shit. We got one more on black.
Needless to say, they didn't get the Alamo. The Texas National Guard was deployed, but no one spit in their faces or threw bottles at them. It all remained pretty under control. And to make sure things stay that way.
White racist lady here, they let you play white until they didn't. Anybody saying that on TikTok? I got black people tell you that. You wanted to pretend you're white. And the funny part about it, you got no smoke for her, but you got smoke for me and everybody else who won't join your fake thing, right? Who won't join you. Just like I told Joe last year with the Palestinians. They came to us again. They didn't go to white people. They didn't go to Indians. They didn't go to Arabs. They came to us. Now, you can look at all the comments on TikTok. They still not.
Right. I think Kid's computer is misbehaving today, but as we wait for him.
Governor Greg Abbott announced today that he's deploying even more. Here to explain why you don't mess with Texas, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Dan, great to see you tonight. So come and take it. You know, they couldn't take it. But one of the Democrats' favorite talking points is that upping the number of guardsmen simply inflames the situation. So what do you say to that?
No, it doesn't happen. It actually calms the situation and keeps law and order and charge. You know, there's a line from an old song back in 1836. Houston said to Travis, get some volunteers and go and fortify the Alamo. Well, we were fortified last night, not with volunteers, but the National Guard, our state police, and the San Antonio Police Department that did an outstanding job. And it was very interesting. You heard that comment about we're going to sit down for a moment. We actually got some intel that those agitators who were bringing forth the protest said, if anyone throws a Molotov cocktail or a rock, everybody sit down so the police know who to arrest. That's a very smart move on their part. First of all, don't throw any Molotov cocktails. Don't throw any rocks. You can peacefully protest. But we're serious about this in red states, Laura, and we're really serious in Texas. And when you come and say you're going to take back the Alamo, well, that'll be the day. That'll never happen. And to even utter those words shows how foolish they are.
Yeah, and just to pause on that, we have another video on this other end, which we have, let me get the name very quickly before I get to read. We have I don't know, that is the Duckworth, I don't know, that's a name, someone, but he has slammed Donald Trump for deploying hundreds of Marines to Los Angeles. Let me share this very quickly as we wait for Mr. Blackfire to come back and see if he's going to be able to continue.
Duckworth. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to follow along on my colleague's chain of questioning. General Smith, I share her concerns and the concerns of the other members of this committee about the mobilization of the 700 Marines in response to the protests in Los Angeles. I am a Marine Corps family. My father, who lies at rest in Arlington, served in the United States Marine, only for a few years. He was an Army officer for the rest of the time, but that man was a Marine until the day he died.
Once a Marine, always a Marine, Senator.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Now, even if this is technically legal, what the president is doing under an expansive interpretation of Article 2 authorities, I believe it is incredibly unwise. I don't condone violence or property destruction, but using active duty Marines for domestic protest response sets a dangerous precedence. When citizens around the country, not just in California, see Marines on the streets of America, it risks damaging their trust and politicizing a force that must remain apolitical and mission focused. President Trump is asking Marines to be away from their families for a situation that the president himself said yesterday was, and I quote, this is what he said yesterday, simmering, but not very much, end quote. Do you, General, have any concerns about the moral injury of Marines who are now being tasked to face Americans and deploy their community in an unprecedented way? And what are you doing to address those mental health concerns?
Senator, Marines will execute their lawful orders. I don't have any concerns that about their moral damage. They're executing lawful orders that they're trained to do. They're completely competent and they're capable of conducting protection of federal personnel and federal property.
I have no question on their ability to do their jobs. They're Marines after all. My concern is the moral, the psychological injury to Marines who are going to be told to turn on their fellow Americans. We know, and would you agree that there can be hidden injuries such as mental health injuries to Marines, whether they're at war? I mean, when you go to war, would you agree that there are hidden injuries that can happen, such as psychological injuries?
There are psychological injuries when one goes to war, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Are you concerned that there might be psychological injuries to the Marines who are being told to turn on American citizens during this deployment?
Well, Senator, I would say that these Marines are not being told to turn on their fellow citizens. They're conducting federal property protection.
So you have no concern that there might be Marines that are having a psychological negative reaction to being put on. I'm not saying that they can't do their jobs. I'm saying you have no concerns and you're not preparing for any mental health counseling as a result of this deployment for these 700 Marines.
Senator, we always have mental health counseling available to Marines at all times for any purpose, but I don't have any heightened concerns about this.
Okay. Well, active duty troops are trained for war fighting and not policing. We ask a lot of different, very difficult things of our troops, taxing their mental health. And now we're sending them to turn on their own communities outside of their normal training. I would be concerned for the well-being of our heroes. I want to switch my line of questioning to sea lift and leveraging our international partners. There's a reason that our system is supposed to prevent the use of our military on our soil, except for the most necessary circumstances. Ideally, in coordination with local elected leaders, the alternative is un-American. From my perch on this committee and the Commerce Committee, changing topics a little bit, I am concerned about our military and commercial maritime capacity. I appreciate the leadership of many of my colleagues on this issue, and I strongly support ongoing efforts to expand our domestic shipbuilding industrial base. Even with this renewed emphasis on domestic shipbuilding, especially of commercial vessels or big-ticket military ships, I remain concerned that we are underinvesting in a critical element of any future fight, sea lift. It will not matter how many submarines or destroyers we can build if equipment, fuel, and resupply cannot make it to theater. And if our troops don't have enough ships to ferry each other and their resupply from place to place within the theater, and this is especially important for the Marines to have amphibious and local resources, I'd like to ask all of our witnesses, do you agree that we lack the necessary number of sea lift or auxiliary vessels to meet the logistical demands of a contested environment in the Indo-Pacific? Admiral, I'd like to start with you, and everybody on the panel, please respond.
I think we can do better there, ma'am. I'm not sure I would say we lack. I do think we've pursued a buy used philosophy, and those used ships, at least the initial ones, took a lot more work to get them serviceable. The latest ones have been better, but I think a buy new and used philosophy is probably prudent going forward.
Do you think we could benefit from partnering with friendly foreign nations on co-production and co-sustainment of auxiliary vessels, from cargo ships to small supply boats to cable repair ships, et cetera, to build surge production and maintenance capacity within the theater?
I do, Senator, and I also think there's opportunities to bring that work into the United States.
Yeah, I think there's opportunity for both. Mr. Secretary?
I concur with the Admiral. I don't have really much to add to what he said.
What currently prevents the Navy from developing or scaling foreign partnerships to build our or maintain our auxiliary vessels, Mr. Secretary?
Senator, look, I think there are a couple of different issues we have to tackle when it comes to those. But I think it's, as I said in my testimony during confirmation, all options are on the table, and we do need to look at this, and we do need to look at.
Yeah, so that is Senator Duckworth questioning or talking about how Donald Trump is very wrong for deploying hundreds of Marine, of course, in the streets, and issuing a warning about the response of the citizens, the response of also the Marine themselves, which is super, super crazy. We've seen the effect of that also right in Kenya for us. It didn't end up good. So many people lost their lives, especially immediately when these particular soldiers were deployed. It was scary. But before we get into the main conversation of the day, I say Keith is not still able to make it in. I don't know what's happening with his computer or laptop, but I see we have Emil, Jason, Karibuni, Sana, Jiba, Jaba. Emil said earlier, y'all had the story of the black mother who was unalived by 3 illegal immigrants. Dang. Outrageous. That's why this protest happening against ICE isn't black people's fight. That's super, super insane. I think also for me, I did see, of course, a couple of videos of how they used to traumatize children, women on the streets. It's crazy. I also see Russ says Broward County is in South Fat, whatever that term name is. I think it did get the Shatuja Mosquito Pit doing amazing, enjoying your lunch as it's in right here on the media of the 21st century. I also see he says we pay taxes, they'll come for us. And Russ also says in Florida, Republican now outnumber the Democrats in registered votes by 1 million. Russ also says, I think these are comments regarding Broward and Broward. Jibat says sheriffs are elected, so there is that pressure. Okay, yeah, if elected or selected, can we be specific? Jibat Jabba. Elected, selected. Can we use the selection instead of election? I don't know. But I also see Raska says I'm in Palm Beach County in the next county, North Broward. And Jiba says Senator Tommy, she's called Senator Tommy Dako. Thank you for the name. She had a leg blown off in Iraq. Dang. That's crazy. America is just always full of drama in every history follow. Russ says Broward County Sheriff changed his mind to enforce immigration. He has a letter from Florida Attorney General told the sheriff, if you don't enforce the immigration law, you would likely get removed. That's crazy. Of course, you'll have to do your job not to lose your job. That's insane. You'll have to do your job not to lose your job. Do what they put you there for. Don't try act smart around here. Don't try act smart. But let me share as we get into, of course, the main conversation, where we have Israel, which did launch airstrike on Iran. Let me pull up a couple of details or videos that I can on this as we get to continue with today's conversation.
A statement from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's listen to his statement from just moments ago.
Months ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades.
What threat? That's the question, because these people always talking about threat. What's the big threat? What threat? Can you tell us the threat? What's the threat? What threat? Because if you look at most of the countries they talk about, they're actually, we know, of course, they're the ones behind the control. Like, they're always on threat. What threats?
The tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs.
And this is exactly what we're talking even about earlier today. Seeing Burkina Faso, Russia, and Mali finally authorizing a nuclear energy deal. And then we're talking about how Africa actually has immense, like crazy, worth of nuclear materials, and how we can be able to take advantage of this. But so many African countries signed deals not to make this possible for them. And a country like Iran is a good example. Shout out to also Russia. I think Russia also have the capability of making nuclear weapons, if I'm not wrong. But shout out to Iran. Like, why should the rest of the world, or why should Israel be able to have nuclear weapons, but the rest of the countries can't? The rest of the world cannot. Who are you? What is the big threat? Because again, like they keep on talking about, they want to keep on saying about the threat. What is the big threat? That's what we need to understand. You're back.
All right, all right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I had to get on my damn laptop. Shit crazy.
Sorry. You're struggling today. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, so what Joey's talking about, so we talking about Israel, which has been a terror in the Middle East, which is a state that should not be there. They want to say, oh, you got a right to exist. No, it is a European colonized state. They came in with the Balfour Declaration of the Rothschild family, and the British stole land and put these people in there who are Eastern Europeans. So they've been causing terrorism and all other kind of acts throughout that whole region. So the only reason why we got that region is so the imperialists can keep control of the resources in that area, whether it be Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all that Northeast African region, which they reclassify as the Middle East, right? So right now, they're trying to facilitate another war because somehow the white people believe they're the only ones supposed to have nuclear weapons. They're the only ones that invade countries, steal people's resources, and then ask everybody not to defend themselves against their wickedry. Oh, you should never you could be the terrorist. No one has done terrorism more than these people. But so they always want everybody to be defenseless and don't build nuclear bombs. See, this psychopath had the nerve to say, when I get done with Palestine, we're going to free Africa. These are the people that's responsible for the troubles in Africa. His people, the Oppenheimers, the Rothschild, the people, the cats with these hats are the reason why Africa is what it is. So that's just a thinly veiled threat that they're going to come back and try to recolonize Africa. So these are the people that's doing it. So now they did a preemptive strike on Iran. So because they're trying to draw America into the war, because all these wars were backed by them. Because There's a whole Israeli lobby that controls America. The whole Israeli group that controls the United States that's in the Pentagon planning these wars. Iraq shouldn't have been in Iraq. Made up a fake narrative, weapons of mass destruction that did not exist. Went to Afghanistan for 20 years so these people can steal opium for their drug trade, known as the medicine, the pharmaceutical companies. But nothing was ever established. That's why America's in debt. You say, we're in debt to who? Oh, in debt to these people. They own the banks. If you say something. Now remember, Iran is the only country that doesn't have a central bank. Right? Doesn't have a central bank. So Iran doesn't have one of these central banks that they put in every country that they control with their fake phony money scheme, their fake paper. See, if you don't go along with the fake paper scheme, they get to come and bomb you, call you a terrorist, and they get to come steal all your real resources.
Exactly what
the world.
Exactly what he's talking about right here. He's talking about threats, because if you look at most of the every time they talk about a country that they are supposed or invading, they talk about the threat. So my question is, what is the threat? Can you mention about the threat? Because if it's a threat of terrorism, maybe something else, what is the threat that Iran has posed on Israel? Because that is what they're talking about. So what is the threat? Can he explain to us? Can Netanyahu explain to us the threat, or Israel? The threat.
There's been no threat. When is Iran threaten Israel? Only thing Iran said, we're going to protect the Palestinians because these guys are committing a known genocide. And it's funny, these are the only people that get to kill innocent men, women, and children, and nothing's done about it. Nothing to see here. If you say something, you're censored. There's a genocide and they also behind the genocide in the Congo too. They're the ones control the diamond trade and all the trade. That's them. So that's why they're the ones set up this police state, and they're the ones control all social media are ran by these same people. Isn't that funny? Social media all over was ran by these people here. That's why people shadow ban, say anything about them. So you can say the N-word all day, but say their name. Your ass is blocked and banned. Okay? You got their Mossad agents in Twitter, their Mossad agents in Google, their Mossad agents in Facebook, YouTube. Ain't that funny? How are these people the only people that get to be in all these social media platforms watching what you say? That's why they wanted TikTok. They're the ones behind TikTok too. Trying to get control of that too. Because they want to push their narrative and their fake lies. They make up fake history. They say they are certain people, which they are not. They're not even these people they claim to be. The Eastern Europeans. This dude's name is Malkowski, not Netanyahu. So you make up a fake name. His name is Malkowski. That's his name. They show you this writing in the back right here, this Yiddish stuff right here, which ain't even Hebrew. Some made-up language from German that they made up. So they want people to be able to go to see, and they own, if you say this, they own all the media, guys. These are facts. Everybody knows it. But if you say it, now you're supposed to be anti-Semitic. Anybody anti-Semitic about nothing. You're not even a real Semite. No one's being anti-Semitic about anything. Nobody's talking, hey, you don't got the, you don't got the right to call somebody this. Black people are Shemites. African people are Shemites. You don't care about killing them. So they use the old trope anti-Semitic. They own all the media. So they get to push the narrative. So when the media moved to alternative media, they snuck up and bought that and put their puppets in, like an Alex Jones and the rest of these fake people on what they call the alternative media. They own and control that too. So they control both sides of an argument. But the whole thing is to try to get the American people to go fight another war for them. And that ain't going to happen. All our tax dollars, you see how America looks falling apart? Look how good Israel looks from our tax dollars. All our money goes to them. They got free. And in front of these people that run these groups that run the Israeli lobby say we don't deserve free health care, but they got it. Off our money, off our backs. They got free health care. They got free education. But they got their lobby say we can't have it, just communism. See how the scam works? Because they want our money to go fund their country. They got free health care, free education, and we're the suckers that's paying for it. We're the suckers that's paying for it. But now you see this awakening happen. Nobody wants to go fight another war for these people. If you're going to fight Iran, fight them on your own. Take your own people, go fight them. You're not getting none of my babies, none of my grandchildren, none of my babies, nobody going to fight your damn war. All right? No one's going to fight your wars no more. None of your lobbies going to allow us to say we're going to fight any of your wars. That's out. Okay? So they all try to gas like this. That these people are the ones that run the world, family. And everybody's starting to know it finally. I'm going to have to put this on private because they know this is a fact. You got a made-up country in Israel that they stole. They went and stole people's land. The Rothschilds created this country. That's why you got Rothschild Avenue over there in Israel that controls all media over the globe. They own all the banks. See, isn't it funny? Iran doesn't have a central bank. Remember when Gaddafi didn't have a central bank? Now, Libya is blown up and destroyed. But one thing they got is a Rothschild central bank now. Ain't it funny? When Libya was all rich and they were giving people free education and everything was good in Libya, they didn't have no central bank. They didn't have one of these people's central bank. Now that Libya's all destroyed and all messed up and impoverished, but guess what they do have? One of their funny money-making banks. One of their fake money scam banks they got now. Okay? Because they run the world through that fake banking scam they got going on. Right? They're the ones responsible for 9/11, not no damn ragheads in no damn Afghanistan named Osama bin Laden. No, they're responsible for it. That's why you had Mossad agents dancing outside of 9/11 when they was over there dancing and they, yay, because they once blew it up. See, that was to get most of you morons in America scared. Oh, it's the ragheads. Like I told Joe, they went around beating up on Indian people at the time. They were Sikhs. They would get beat up. Hey, I'm not an Arab. I'm a Sikh. I don't know what you are. Get this ass whipped. Like Joe said, I wouldn't have known either. But learn. So it's been the scary Arab, the dirty Arab, scared of the Islam. Ooh. So they got you with that. Well, it ain't been the Islam, it's been them. All the fake Islamic terrorists in Africa, it's them. Because they had you, you got to fight with Christianity and Islam going on. So that was the scam. Had you go to Afghanistan, Iraq. What did we ever gain to go to Afghanistan and Iraq? Oh, absolutely nothing. Trillions of dollars in debt. Oh, who's the debt? Them. They own the debt. So America's bankrupt to these people who own the banks. The Warburgs. Remember, we did the old Boule thing. The Warburgs, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all the usual suspect names. So now they're going to try to go into, and the jig is up because everybody knows it now. No matter how much they own the media, how much they try to lie, call these conspiracy theories, everybody knows now. And people know who's the puppets too. Because you don't mention these cats, people know you're fucked up and you're a fucking liar. See, they've been exposed now. Everybody's saying, oh, what about the Jays? What about the Jays? What about the Jays? Everybody calls in the show. Oh, why you not mentioning the Jays? Oh, nothing to do with them. That's why you know somebody's a puppet. Because everybody's asking a question. What about these people here that own every fucking thing? Oh, did you know they were the ones behind COVID-19? You didn't know that? These same people who tried to what? Let's say tried to erase erase things. Did anybody go to prison? No. And they're still pushing the COVID shot today, aren't they? And we know people are being unalived by that. So you got a wicked, evil, sinister group of people who run this planet. And when they try to make deflections, is it the black nobility? Is it the Vatican? Is it the Jesuits? No. It's these motherfuckers right here. Okay, these are always distractions. They go into other fake things because they control all forms of communication through the media, the mainstream media, and also social media. So they put out all kind of psyops. It's always a psyop. Who actually runs the world? Is it the Pope and the Jesuits? Nah, it ain't the motherfucking Pope. It ain't the damn Jesuits. Because you can say the Pope all day and ain't nothing going to happen to you. The name you know you can't name is these folks right here. Everybody knows. Is it the Pope that controls the pharmaceutical companies? Oh, no, it's these folks right here. Is it the Pope that controls Hollywood and makes fake fucked up images? Oh, no, it's these folks right here. Is it the Pope and the Catholic Church that controls the music industry worldwide? Nope, it's these folks right here.
All right, can I share this video as we continue?
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat.
Now, these people got nuclear weapons. And that's when Kennedy was trying to stop that too in 1962 and 63 before they blew his head off. He was trying to stop their fake banking scam and them getting nuclear weapons. They got nuclear. Them having nuclear weapons is illegal. But since they got control of the planet through all the bribery, all the damn child sacrifice and the child with Epstein, all these people, all this blackmail they got on everybody, their nuclear program is illegal. We know they got nuclear, but everybody say, oh, we don't know. We don't know if they got nukes or not. We know Israel has nuclear weapons. And it's illegal for them to have them. Somebody's going to tell you about Iran not having nukes. It's all scam. Go ahead, Joe. In Africa, you better start getting ready to build nuclear weapons. Period.
Shout out to Aaron James. Yes, I see Iran just fired back. We shall be getting into that as we get to continue.
Survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
Now remember, Trump
for decades,
don't do it.
The tyrants of Tehran.
Trump is his puppet. He's not Trump's puppet. He knows Trump is his puppet. He knows Trump is his puppet. He's not Trump's puppet.
Easily.
Go ahead.
Openly called for Israel's destruction. They backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran is taking steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon.
Just like you? You got nuclear weapons, just like you, huh? You mean they did something just like you? You've had it for 60 years, just like you. Why you get to have, why you white people get to have it, nobody else do? Huh? Just like you? They enriched uranium, just like you. They're trying to build bombs, just like you. What are you talking about? Just like you? Do this real quick. Open that tab real quick. Say how many nuclear weapons does Israel have? They say, well, it's a secret. We know they got them, but it's supposed to be a secret that they don't got them. We're supposed to pretend that they don't got them. So how many nuclear weapons does Israel have?
Israel has neither acknowledged nor denied the existence of the nuclear.
See, they never acknowledge or deny. We know they got it. See, they won't even tell you. We know they got it. They never acknowledge or deny. See, that's they own and control Google, guys. Okay?
They're saying, according to the Non-Partisan Arms Control Center, it though estimates the stockpile from various non-partisan proliferation, and watchdog groups estimate that they have about 90 nuclear weapons.
Yeah, about 90. So we know exactly. We know they got 90. He's worried about somebody having 9. see how hypocritical these psychopaths are? They don't want you to defend yourself because they're the ones invade your country, steal your resources. They get rich and they leave everybody in poverty. See the scam they've been doing? So they at least 90 nuclear weapons. They got them way back in the early 60s. So see, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? See, they want to be the hunter and hunt the rabbit. But it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. See, these are psychopaths. They've stolen land again in Syria. They've taken land that's not theirs because they try to create it's called the larger Israel project, where they're trying to steal other people's land. This is known. We had General Wesley Clark talk about it 25 years ago. That we were going to be forced to take all these wars because of this moron, because of this psychopath here. Oh, if you go into Iraq, you go here and do that. There will be no more wars. There'll be no more wars. And every time it's another war, another war, another war. Because they want to enlarge the land, Israel, steal people's land and resources. It's a colonizing effort. This is what's going on. Go ahead, Joe. Let's listen to what this psychopath.
A very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazis.
Back to the Holocaust. That don't work. You're Holocausting people now. They want to keep going back. That shit don't work. And every time, and since you own Hollywood, because we got 10 Holocaust movies a year. Your Holocaust can't even compare to the African Holocaust at all. Have you paid for that? In Namibia, Kenya, slaves taken, Congo. Stop going back to your Holocaust. We're tired of it. Every movie, they make 10, 12 Holocaust movies a year, and they got their fake right wing. You have a fake Alex Jones out there. The Chicons own Hollywood. The Chicons own Hollywood. Yeah. Why are they making all these Jewish Holocaust movies then? Well, we know who owns Hollywood, motherfucker. Got your mind. Most of the stars are all what? The Hat Persuasion. All of them. All of them are the cats. The very famous stars are all cats. All of them. They're all cats. All of them. Now, at the end of the day, we all know the cats own all Hollywood production companies. Warner Brother, cats. MGM, cats. Universal Studios, cats. Paramount Studios, cats. Okay? Columbia Studio, cats. What's all the other ones? All the other ones were cats. Did I lose out of RKO? I say what? Columbia, Paramount. We're talking about the major ones. MGM, Universal, all of them. Cats. All of them. See, those are the people that destroyed our image in the early 1900s, had black people looking crazy and effed up. These folks did that willingly, lovingly. These are the people that own most of the plantations. These are the same group of people that owned all the ships that were taking slaves from Africa to what they called the fake New World. These folks here, the cats, own the ships. They own the shipping lanes and the majority of plantations in America, in the Caribbean, and in South America, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina. These are facts. You want to tell me about your Holocaust? When you controlled the ships for slavery? You funded the shit? You goddamn own the majority of the plantations? That don't never come up in your movie. This time it's just regular white folks. That never in none of your made-up movies from the slavery and the raping of Africa. You never mentioned that it's you motherfuckers that are doing it. It's never in none of your movies. Never. Just the average white man. It's never The cats. You know you own majority of the plantations in America. You own the majority of plantations in the Caribbean when you took the other Africans. You own the majority of the plantations in Brazil, in Suriname, in Guyana, in Colombia, in Venezuela. You own the majority of those plantations. But that's never in none of your movies. Nowhere. Nowhere. You also own the boats, the ships. You own the ships. See, we always forget. I always try to tell you Christopher Columbus was an Italian. That's a lie. He was a cat. His name was Christopher Colon from northern Spain. They make it all. See, because they control all the narratives. Columbus, you got the Italians believe that this moron was an Italian. He was not. He was a cat. In Al-Andalus at the fall of the Moors. Go read his diary. Everybody knows. And you do a little research. You know he was a cat. He wasn't no Italian. I'll tell you that. Christopher Columbus made a fake name. No, he was a cat. When he came over to America, started killing people. Had people attacked with dogs and raping women. Yeah, he was a cat. He wasn't no Italian. That's a lie they tell you. Go ahead, Joby.
Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow.
Nowhere. They only defend themselves from these psychopaths who have created terrorism throughout the place by invading other people's lands, stealing. Remember, they came into Palestine, stole, literally stealing people's houses. They still do it today. They go in somebody's home and say, "This is my home." Throw people out of their homes. They never show you none of this. Literally. You say you're at home eating dinner. These people knock on your door, come in and say, "This house is mine," and throw you out in the goddamn street. This is what these people have done, literally. And you want to talk about some Holocaust to you. These are the most despicable, evil motherfuckers on the planet. Talking all, he's a psych, and this dude is a certified psychopath. Habitual liar, a narcissist, psychotic. He's really a war criminal. He's supposed to be locked up for genocide. This is a despicable human being. The word despicable is not. There's no word to describe this human filth. If you can call him a human being, the amount of innocent children that this man has murdered on his orders is unfathomable. They're trying to play. See, this is what they. Then he wants to play the victim. He goes, kills people. Then he wants to play the victim. Iran is going to attack. It should be this, blah. Iran didn't attack them. When did Iran attack Israel? Never. Never. You see, they own the media. You hear the twist like this, all in American media. They own all of it. And you hear it twisted up. They own all the media in the world because they own this fake bank, this fake money system, this fake ass money that puts Africans in poverty, right? Anybody? I got gold, but you want to give me some fucking paper. You want to give me a piece of paper and tell me to do some shit. And if I don't give my gold, you want to invade my country.
Yeah, but we have news coming in. Iran has launched hundreds of missiles at Israel following the attack. I want to share a couple of videos to see what's happening on TikTok.
You got Iran. I mean, you got Russia on the border right now. Russia on Iran, on Israel's border. You got Russian troops on their border. People are tired of that ass. You got Lebanese troops. You got Syrian troops. You got the Russians on Israel's border. People are not gonna go through another war with you people.
Breaking news around.
Where's Joe?
Iran is set to launch 100 ballistic missiles at Israel. CNN is reporting that the strike is imminent, and people in Israel are being told to prepare to shelter in place for 2 weeks. Earlier today, Iran retaliated with 100 drones that were all shot down by the U.S. and Israel. But 100 ballistic missiles are going to overwhelm the Israeli air defenses, and they are going to make it to Israel. Make sure to follow me for breaking news.
حيفا هناك تجمعات لعدد من المدن والبلدات.
See, they're trying to draw America in this war because, see, Iran is still trying to be cool because Iran could have launched their own, instead of sending missiles, they could have launched their own aircraft. Aircraft would have been easy to go in and start bombing shit. But they just launched missiles instead of having aircraft go in and maneuver and blow up shit and kill people. And sadly enough, the cats have always used the white man as his pawn. They talking about they use us. They don't use us. They use you people. Morons. You go fight their wars.
אזרחי ישראל, בפתח דבריי אני שולח תנחומים למשפחות.
The AFP news agency is reporting that around 100 drones have been fired by Iran towards Israel, and the Israeli military is reporting that the army is working to intercept them. So
Now,
up to
all the
100
news,
drones have
they
been
own
fired
all the news. That's
from
going to be a
Iran
narrative that Iran doesn't have the right to defend themselves. How dare Iran defend themselves? They're supposed to let the Israelis blow them up. What are they doing? How dare them defend themselves? They're supposed to get smacked in the mouth and don't do nothing. Same narrative they give black people globally. Black people's never getting justice to get smacked in the mouth and never reciprocate that same energy. Go ahead, Joe.
towards Israel. We also had a bit more information earlier when the Israeli army confirmed that 200 jets had been involved in those Iranian raids and struck around 100 targets.
Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah, so that is what is currently happening. Let me go through these comments very quickly. I hear the thoughts of the people on the chat. I see Jiba Jaba is complimenting your shirt, says you look good on that green fatigue shirt. I also see, says Iran has mutual defense agreements with Russia. Will they be drawn into it? That's a
yeah, they already in. You got Russian. You got Russian troops. You can see on TikTok, we share it now and look and say are there Russian troops on the border, on the Israeli border? Yeah, because they have a nuke. They have a pact with them. Exactly right. They're a military pact with them, and to be technically, like we got a military pact with. They're trying to start World War III, but too many people have woken up. We're not going to fight for no Israel.
Okay, and then as I get to share that, I'll share that in a few. Emil says there is also ongoing famine and genocide in Sudan too, and no one talks about it.
No one talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's behind that? The Israelis with the Abu Dhabi motherfuckers, the Emirates and the Jays, the cats. What? For stealing resources. Because Wesley Clark told you that years ago, but that's what they're going to do. They name the countries. They're going to go with Libya, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. One more I'm missing. I keep missing. It's probably seven missing. What is that? Libya, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. That's 6. I keep forgetting what's the 7th. Oh, Iran. The one they doing up. Iran is the 7th. I'll keep it. Iran. So they ran on time. Iran is the 7th. He told you this 20 years ago. 20 years ago, he told you that 7 countries So this has been planned. All this fake Iran's doing this has already been planned. Go ahead, Joey.
Raskash Karibu, he says, Karibu Tena again. He says social media cutting the part of that Brevard County Sheriff said you can protest it. Your right to do that. They just don't want no violence towards them. The English, right? And then I also see Big Cheese Karibu Sana with a very big joke over there. Says, okay, family, I'm ready for it all. I have my bubble gum. I have bubble gum. My underground bunker. A year supply of frozen Popeyes chicken, chitlins, and hot sauce. And 2 Camlish juice booty Latina Kenyan cousin. Come on, Camlish. And I also see Emil says, do you think they were also the ones behind the bombing of Pearl Harbor, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and the
Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
No, that was actually the Japanese, but they used the Japanese. They wanted to draw them in because America wanted to go. America won that war, and remember, at that time, this is how deep this shit goes. That time, we weren't even born yet, but this, you go look, this is all factual. At that time, Franklin Roosevelt, the president, his whole cabinet, his whole advisors were all cats. All of them. Oh, go look it up. All of his advisors were cats. They the ones told him this is what we want done. This is what you're going to, all his advisors were cats. All Franklin Delano Roosevelt's advisors and people close by were all, they controlled it. They controlled the, so the presidency ain't never been free since 1913, really 1911, when they put Woodrow Wilson in and got to make that fake bank. So at that time, Roosevelt's whole cabinet was, and his close advisors were all cats. All cats. Can you imagine that? They were all cats. All of them. Making the real decisions and starting World War II. He was just their puppet. They ran the White House, not him. Remember, he was all sickly and shit.
Mm-hmm. And Emily also says, Austin Holman also talks about the cats, but he doesn't so covertly, or else he will get demonetized.
Demonetized, yeah, because they own exactly. You can't be talking about these cats. You know that. You know you can't be talking about these cats, Emil. You be demonetized. That's why you ain't making no money.
Mm-hmm. Jason says Los Angeles streets look like a ghost town. And he also says, Emil says Christopher Columbus was a Sephardic Jew. And
yes, he was. I don't know if he was a Sephardic, but he was definitely one of them cats. And they know they've already did the research. It's like I'm not. This is not me saying anything new, right? It's not me exposing anything new. But the history book tried to lie that he wasn't. They tried to make him an Italian. That's a lie. Now, I don't know if he's Sephardic or whether he was one of the Khazarians, but we know he's one of the hats. He wasn't no Columbus, and he damn sure wasn't no Italian. See, they keep trying to obfuscate history to fool you that's not them behind all the wicked shit for the last 1,000 years. Been these wicked bastards all over the world. Slave trade was controlled by them. That's a fact.
Let me share this video.
Netanyahu is running away from Israel for now. According to a special report from I-24 News, the Zion Wing aircraft is currently airborne, accompanied by 2 Israeli fighter jets.
Israel started this war. Israel attacked Iran. Remember that no matter what the media tries to twist this of defending themselves, Iran didn't attack Israel. Iran doesn't have military bases outside of Iran. Iran doesn't have naval bases near Israel. Exactly. Iran doesn't fly fighter jets over Israel. Iran did nothing but sat there and got attacked. Israel attacked the Iranian military leadership. Israel attacked civilian cities. Israel attacked their underground facilities. That all Iran said was, we want these for our protection because Iran has never attacked Israel first. So what does Israel do? They attack first, and Iran is going to respond.
This mob stormed a Russian airport looking for Jewish passengers arriving from Israel. Videos posted on social media showed hundreds of people, some waving Palestinian flags and chanting anti-Semitic slogans. They stormed the tarmac and climbed on idling planes.
I'm trying to see the one for Russia.
Vladimir Putin. Russia's relationship with Israel has changed dramatically in these 2 years that war is being waged in Ukraine. And when the Islamic Alliance launched the attack on Israel, and then Israel responded with genocide, now look at what has happened. Look at what has happened. They planned their plans, and Allah planned his plans, and Allah is the best of plans.
Okay.
What if Israel and Iran went to war? If Israel and Iran...
The UN Security Council held a meeting today on the situation in Gaza, and the Russian representative stated that they had information that Israel was planning a ground invasion.
March, the Israeli aviation resumed airstrikes against Gaza, which resulted in new victims. We have information of more than 400 people dead, and that the IDF is preparing for a land operation in the Strip.
A land operation. Russia also pointed out that Israel would like to take over responsibilities of UNRWA now that they have ousted the organization from their country. But the commentary from the Russian representative was amazing.
The situation is further compounded by the fact that Israel, as an occupying power, is refusing to shoulder the responsibility for providing the needs of the people under occupation. We can see that such notions of the care for the people or protection of civilians are not among the principles and the methods used by the IDF.
I just love the way Russia called him out. But there's a lot more to the Security Council meeting, so I'm going to make part 2.
Breaking news. Russia has just ordered its citizens to immediately leave Israel after Israeli airstrikes attacked the vicinity of Russia's Khmeimim base in Syria. In light of the extremely tense situation in the region, the Russian ambassador in Tel Aviv recommended that citizens in Israel consider leaving the country while such opportunities exist. He said this in an interview with TASS. 1.5 million Russians live in Israel. Russia is warning its people to get out before it's too late. Something big is coming. Russia.
I'm not seeing a clear video of whether Russia troops are in Israel border, but yeah, those are the video I could literally find. Do you have anything you want to share, Keith? I see you trying to Google them.
Yeah, I'm trying to who's acting up, been sitting there for so ever. Trying to find what Wesley Clark say General Wesley Clark. General Wesley Clark says that the U.S. will attack 7 countries in 5 years. And it's been now 20 years now. Say General Wesley Clark. General Wesley Clark says the U.S. will attack 7 countries in 5 years. It's been 20 years now. It took them 20 years to do it, not 5, but or you can just say attack 7 countries. But they want to attack them in 5 years. So this is already planned. So all the pretense, all the phony rhetoric, it's all fake. Because all the countries said they're going to attack. That's what they did. Libya, Iraq, Iran, all the countries. There you go. That's it. One, the first one of the year, right there, the first one. But,
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said,
We
I
don't
guess
know
they don't know
because
what
the
else
cat
to do.
said
I said,
so.
well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to
No.
Al Qaeda? He said, no,
No.
no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They just
Now,
made
pause
the
that. Pause
decision
that
to
for
go
a
to
second.
war
Pause
with
that for a second,
Iraq.
Joe. Because that's how you don't know. Within the Pentagon, the cats are there. We have a whole secret thing of cats telling the Pentagon what to do, who to kill, who to go bomb. I never even knew about that. This got to be illegal. And we got foreign power inside our military saying what countries to attack, but they're there. And even General Wesley Clark didn't even know. He just retired. What do you mean? But who said we're gonna do that? No, there's cats there's a certain cat organization that's up in there secretly that run the Pentagon. It's some wicked shit. We got the name. It's wicked. We're completely captured by the Rothschilds, who are the cats. Completely captured. Go ahead, Joby.
He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. I said,
all of them on pause that. You hear that? That's all of them. Sudan. We think it's all on there. All of them. Sudan, Libya, right? Somalia, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and Syria. All of them are named. Yeah, Libya, Syria, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. All 7. So them going after Iran now, that's the last. They just not remember they just overthrew Syria. They just overthrew Syria last year.
Somali
too, a couple years ago. So and they got them happening right now in the Sudan right now. Okay? So none of this they don't know what's going on. They'd already planned this 20 years ago. This has already been planned. You got General Wesley Clark naming every country, and every country's the ones they did. But go ahead, Joby.
I said, well, don't show it to me. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and
Remember,
I saw.
he'd already
Days
retired.
after 9/11,
So he
I
wasn't
went
allowed
through
to
the
see the
Pentagon
top
and
secret papers.
It's the same
I
video.
saw Secretary Rumsfeld, and one of the generals called me and he said, sir, you got to come in and talk to me a second. I said, well, you're too busy. He said, no. He says, we've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know.
I don't know.
He said, I guess
Because
they don't
the
know what
cat
else to
said
do.
so.
I
That's
said, well,
why.
did they find some
You want to know why? Because the cat said so. That's why. He didn't know. I don't know why we're going to. Because the cat, they're going to sell. Remember, because they start selling it. He didn't even know why they were going to war. Then you got their media. They control these weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Remember George Bush lying? There's weapons of mass destruction. So they're going to paint a fake narrative like they did. But see, most people finally caught. They're not as dumb as they used to be 20 years ago. Only 25 years ago, almost now 23 years ago. They're not as dumb anymore. As dumb. The majority of America is still stupid. But you got a group that's like, yeah, you remember forever on their media, they knew it was a lie. Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Do this for me, Joe. We got that real quick and say, George Bush says that Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Or no, says that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. Now, everybody knows a lie. And they laughed about it. They killed millions of Iraqis, millions of children. These are psychopaths. They steal that oil. They don't even care. Oh, yeah. You remember George Bush laughed? Well, there's no mass destruction. There's no weapons of mass destruction over here. There's none over here. There's none over here. Well, none of as they murdered millions of damn women and children.
Sudan or Iraq? You said Sudan or Iraq. Can you pardon again?
Not Sudan, Joby. Say George
sorry.
Bush. Say George Bush says that Iraq, IRAQ, has weapons of mass destruction. There you go. So we know. See, so you know, and also they bootlicking.
It
He's
was
dead.
possible to.
See, now remember that's Netanyahu. I thought that was so Netanyahu back then was telling the same lie. See, this is 25 years ago. A lie. Benjamin Netanyahu lying about Iraq, exactly, Iran and Libya. Lying. But they put lying. And he's there again now, lying about Iran right now. But this right here was like 20-some years ago. Because remember, the cats were already, Joe Wesley Clark and George is going to be 7 years, and they're going to make these fake wars so they can steal people's resources and their land. So we got the suspect right here. Right here. Go ahead, Joby.
Thwarts Saddam's nuclear ambitions by bombing a single installation.
Nuclear ambition.
But today, nothing less than dismantling his regime will do. Because Saddam's nuclear program has fundamentally changed in those 2 decades. He no longer needs one large reactor to produce the deadly material necessary for atomic bombs. He can produce it in centrifuges the size of washing machines that can be hidden throughout the country. And I want to remind you that Iraq is a very big country. Nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons is Iraq and Iran.
Well, we killed
Iran, by the way,
of women and children. Men and women and children over this psychopath lie. Because they control the country. This is a formation, him talking to the Congress, because the Congress already bought and owned by his ass. Them listening to him, this is all fake kabuki theater, because they are going to go to war because the Rothschilds own these motherfuckers. So him just because he's in Congress talking, it didn't matter, because they're controlled. They're already owned. They're already bought and sold. They already owned, bought and sold. Already. So this just is a formality, making up these fake lies about Iraq and Saddam. These are all lies. And they know, and let me make sure you understand, he knows they're lies when he's saying it. And the motherfuckers up there all know this is for the media. This is for the public consumption. This is on TV. This is to get the public to believe the lie. Those bootlicking congressmen up there, they know this is a lie. He knows a lie when he's telling it. It's like you heard Wesley Clark saying, why are we going to do that? What are we doing? What do you mean? I don't know. The military say, we don't know why they're going to do it. But we got to follow the orders of the cats. Everybody's talking to, they already know that this has already been planned and you're going to do it. You shut your goddamn mouth. So this just kabuki theater for the morons looking on TV like, wow, Saddam has weapons of mass. Maybe we should go in there and do stuff. Everybody get all blown up. People come back all messed up. You didn't kill kids. Your mind all fucked up. Got people now, they're going to come on be beating your wife in the head because you're crazy up. You've been murdering children. Your mind don't work right. You come back. Remember there was all kind of, it wasn't Saddam who put chemical weapons out there. That was us. We dropped chemical weapons on our own people. That's how wicked this country is. Everybody come back all fucked up. Okay. Trying to eat dinner. Next thing you got convulsions. They won't give you no help. You can't get no job. Can't get no medical. You're just shunned. You're just shunned. That's how the U.S. government deals with people who fight wars for these wicked bastards. Now you're living in a tent all fucked up. Can't get no medical. And you talking about go fight wars. If you white men are stupid again, go fight these wars. All the white men come back all fucked up, all messed up. Thank you for your service. Like they did in Vietnam. Good, Joby.
So outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. Now the question is, what's your next step? Knowing that 3 of these nations are developing nuclear weapons. This is not a hypothesis. It is fact. Iraq, Iran, and Libya are racing to develop nuclear weapons. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq.
Gaddafi's been dead for 16 years now. They killed Gaddafi. Remember, he said, no more your funny money. No more your fake J hat money. No more of that money. If it ain't gold, if it ain't something real, we're not going to accept it. Oh, they went to Libya, blew it up, killed him, murdered him, dug in his butt. Remember they dragged him. Remember they did Gaddafi rule. They drug him to the street. They put like a bayonet up in his butthole. Remember that? They made sure it was brutal with him, right? Teach a lesson. That's right, Joe. That's real, right? But was no nuclear weapons ever found there. Just good homes, good living, good people. Now it's a failed state with slave markets. It's impoverished. Go ahead, Joe. Let's finish this psychopath.
It's a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how to achieve it. The application of power is the most important thing in winning the war on terrorism. The more victories you amass, the easier the next victory becomes. The first victory in Afghanistan makes the second victory in Iraq that much easier. The second victory in Iraq will make the third victory that much easier too. Fully immaterial in my mind is the argument that America cannot oust Saddam without prior approval of the international community. Today, the United States must destroy the same regime because a nuclear-armed Saddam will place the security of our entire world at risk. And make no mistake about it, if and once Saddam has nuclear weapons,
you see this?
The terror network will have nuclear weapons.
This is on the news. You see the thing about? See, they own the news. This is for the morons who believe this psychopath. This is for the news. So this is broadcast news. Everybody sitting at home oh my God, we got to stop them from getting nuclear bombs. Oh. See how they do it? This is called organized consent.
Are there any other
get consent from people by fooling them, by lying in their face.
nations that you would recommend that the United States?
What'd they do? He was out of Congress after this. They got rid of his list there. Get his ass out of here. You remember? That's Dennis Kucinich. Let me see. When did Dennis Kucinich lose his seat in Congress? Right after this. After he had the nerve to question what the Rothschilds want to do with the war. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, get his ass out of there. Get him out of Congress now. Go ahead, Joe.
Launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. A third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is, while no one is watching, under the cloak, is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. Not surprisingly, all three have been implicated in the past in terrorism.
Not now, not ever. It was wealthy and giving us money. See, their banking scam causes poverty. They can't have that's why Ibrahim's dangerous now. I told you he's going to be like Libya. They can't have a country out there that actually works. Shows you that you can have free schooling, free health, free everything off your resources. They can't have that. It destroys their fake ass banking scam. That's why they got to keep trying to put a bullet in Ibrahim Traore's head. Everything this psychopath saying is a lie. All of it.
Activity using the clandestine means of terror and proxies. Now the question is, what's your next step? Knowing that three of these nations are developing nuclear weapons. This is not a hypothesis. It is fact. Iraq, Iran, and Libya are racing to develop nuclear weapons. So now what is the next step? I believe that the next step is to choose. It's not a question of whether you have to take action, but what kind of action and against whom.
And I want you to tell you, in a righteous country, there you go, Africans, good. In a righteous country, which we're not, we're an evil country, he would have been stopped a long time ago. But the country's evil. So it allows evil motherfuckers like him to exist and to keep permeating this nonsense, these lies. He's supposed to be taken to The Hague, given a suit, and electrocuted a long time ago. He ain't supposed to be walking on the planet. They supposed to have been gave him a deadly shot in his arm or electrocuted his ass. Because the evidence is overwhelming. Again, the lies, right? Lies that have been told. Okay. Oh, we gotta wrap this up, Joe. We gotta let you get out of here.
It's good. Jason says, I go to bed at 8 p.m. Always tell myself I'm in this world, but no part of it. Your motto, as always. He also says, I heard they took Stargate from Iraq during the early 2000s. And Jabba says, yep, they're tired to blame that Iraq sickness from the sand files. It's crazy. I mean, who's ever gonna have Israel questioned? That's literally as we come to the end.
Nobody. They own all the banks. They that until the world steps up. See, they've dumbed down the majority. The world is so Americans. Let me keep 100 before we leave. Let me say this. Their propaganda is so good, and they didn't. I'm putting this. I'm gonna be honest now. I'm putting this on private, so fuck it. I'm coming back on the night too. I know you guys are gonna laugh. I'm coming back on the night. It's gonna be mostly on the network too. I'm gonna say something. They didn't fucked up black people in America so bad. We're so fucking stupid. We're so dumb. I mean, we're so really dumb. The propaganda so good really got you hating your own people. They destroyed us in the last 60 years so bad that our children are fucked up. They're fucking stupid. And so us looking at our children being that fucking dumb has us having hate for our own babies. This how deep propaganda goes through the entertainment. It's all garbage. It's all filth. Everybody's tattooed up and talking stupid. Most everybody's walking around a walking moron. And that's not and being a moron might be. I don't think they even reach moron. I don't think they're smart enough to be a moron. That's how bad they've destroyed us as a people. Right now. Where we're at. Right now. You been in the hood lately? If you go in any black hood in America, you leave that motherfucker so depressed. You're like, oh, will we survive? Will we even survive as a people? The level of idiocy in black America is frightening. The level of, I'm going to use Joby's word, stupidity. But the level of social engineering that they've done on us, the level of social engineering that's been done on us for the last 50 years is criminal. I think we'll be wiped out. I don't know if we can even survive like anything that's real, right? It was a damn fly right on my damn land, goddammit. We're gonna land it right on my thing. Damn fly. Did we let us down? It's frightening. It's scary. What we were now from 60 years ago, we can't even compare who we were then. With the entrance of this MLK psyop shit and what we are now today, you couldn't walk out the house. You mess up. Just walk out the house. Black people weren't allowed to walk the house unless they were completely dressed and put together. That was our culture. Now you got morons that can't speak, don't know what the hell they're saying, close off their ass, looking crazy, talking crazy. Every black man is emotional, raised by women. All black men, all black young youth are emotionally fucked up in their head. They're overly emotional. They're like women. So that's why you got so much black on black crime, because they cannot work things out. They can't talk. They get emotional. I'm going to shoot you and kill you. Like women. They're operating like women, all emotional. And I'm saying that because I was in Houston. I was just in the hood. And I was like, I just looked. I was like, this is fucking crazy. It's really disturbing. And the entertainment reflects the damn downfall of us as a people. I mean, as a people, it's because the youth are the future. The Black American youth is fucked up. You know how much it pains me to say that? You know how much it pains me to say that? That we might not even, Africa's gonna say, the Black American might not even survive. He said, yeah, my black job, all right. Let me get out. But that's what I seen yesterday. It's wow, this is crazy. And I got no answers. I got no solutions. I got no answers. I don't know if it's too far gone. I'm being 100. I don't know if Black America's too far gone.
I don't think it's a Black American thing. Personally, if I look at it from the angle how you're trying to look at it, it also traumatizes me sometimes and then looking at the race we're fighting with, it has to shock your mind, The same question you're asking today, how are we conquered by these people, I don't think it's about us, but it also comes with a question of what really happened to us, It's something deep to think about, because I also find myself thinking about it deeply on that. I'm like, how did you get here? It's shocking, but maybe time will tell. Maybe time will tell. Maybe we don't know. Maybe, yeah. Let the universe play it out.
We're resilient people. I guess we've been through worse, especially in Black America. We've been through slavery, but we were never broken up like this. Slavery, we still together. We still love it. We still believed in it. We had hope. Even in slavery, we had hope. We didn't come out of slavery as savages. I think the Black community is a bunch of savages. I think we've been turned into modern day savages. So they won't have. Let's see here. I'm saying they won't leave. They won't leave us alone. That's true. Long enough to get ourselves together. That's what I'm saying. I know it. I'm saying it was a psyop done to us. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying it wasn't purposely done. Exactly right there. Exactly. They're not gonna let us. They're not gonna leave us alone to heal, because the thing was to actually really wipe us out as a people. We were supposed to be wiped out. Remember, everything was a slow grind to wipe us out. And now that's just hard to understand. The thing they designed, the social engineering was designed to wipe us out.
Yeah, as it comes to the
the reason why we don't got health care in this country? Because they thought it would wipe us out. The reason why we don't have health care in America is because because they did a study saying, good, if we don't offer health care to Americans within 3 generations, the Black people will be dead and stinking. Then we can give it. So, yeah, so we've always survived. We're survivors, but I'm just saying it's troubling, man. It's a troubling thing. These men are too effeminate. They're not critical thinkers. They're like women. These young boys are like women. They're emotional. They're easily upset. They're easily afraid. They're emotional. Like, wow.
But as we wind up, kids.
Let me say it in 3 minutes. Because I was I stopped by, and it's like no social. I wasn't planning to do a social experiment. I went to the hood, went to a regular store. Within the 30 minutes I was in there, it was almost like 5 killings. Within 30 minutes, 5 killings. Because somebody supposedly wronged someone, someone got emotional. Because you didn't give me the right kind of Black and Miles, or you called me a wrong name. all from black men. Oh, I'm gonna go back and get my partners. I'm gonna come handle this. Everybody about killing each other. Every other conversation, somebody got upset and emotional. They were going back to get their boys to kill everybody. And everybody's running around with one. Everybody. And why is everybody running around with like it's easy access? Hold on, give me a second, real quick, right? Let me just real quick. But look, I don't got one with the thing. Oh damn! You guys know, everybody I see was wearing, but I don't got it. You guys know the beanies with the damn with the stuff cut out with your face. Everybody's got this on like this to get ready to do a crime. Ski mask. Yeah, the ski man. What's going on? What you talking about? Every time everybody got upset, somebody was pulling down the damn ski mask. And it was like 90 degrees outside. What's going on? What? So that's exactly. You shitty mask. Exactly. I was like, everybody had them on, and they had to come. Like, what the fuck? And then some guy pulled us all down because he got upset. I'm bring back my boys. We're gonna holler at you, nigga. We'll bring back my boys. And all he said was something like, simple. We'll bring back my boys. We're gonna holler at you. We're gonna see if you're still laughing. You know what I'm saying? Yep. 85 degrees weather. It's not exactly. I was like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm in the twilight zone. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Get my ass out there for somebody want to shoot my ass.
But anyway, as we wrap it up, Keith, it's 11 p.m.
Look at you. Okay.
Gotta wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, if you're gonna be back tonight,
I can have cameras start all late and take all time. Shit, cameras didn't leave till late. Wrong with him. What's he doing?
I know he started late. The programs today went till late, so he wanted to take a break and start.
And outside of being over feminine, we say a lot of these young black men are also gay. We know that. You know that's another sap they put on us. Yep. Pookie and the man. That's right. Pookie and the man. That's right. It's crazy. Pookie and Ray, for real, man. I don't know, man. It's depressing.
Yeah, but anyway, family, we'll be wrapping it up there. Thank you so much for tuning in, for keeping the conversations alive. Thank you for keeping it like a planet.
Get her Valley.
Yeah, I have to go shopping fast. And right now, people always so many. I don't understand why people are not sleeping right now. People always so many at the supermarkets like crazy at this hour. But anyway, family, much love. Have yourself a beautiful weekend, a beautiful rest part of your Friday, and I hope to see you guys same time, same place.
Go shopping now, Joe. It's 11 o'clock at night.
I do my shoppings on Friday at this time. I don't want to wake up early. No.
What?
Yeah.
How you get home with this shopping shit? On a bike?
Yes.
You can't carry no groceries on a bike. Are you crazy? Anyway,
of course I can, kid. What the hell? Of course I can. That's a life we're so used to. I know it's not true, but I'm used to that. That's me. But much love, family. Have yourself a beautiful weekend.
I'm gonna try to come on late on the day, guys, if I can. Okay. Joe having a hard time reading. She's too cute. She only wants to wear glasses that are fashionable to make her look cute.
Much love.